Okay, lawn freaks, a lot of you wanted me to do a yard from start to finish without any editing or sped up parts or cutouts. You wanted real time, but I cannot upload a 45-minute video. It's just not cool. So notice all the beds on here, all the shrubs and all the stuff I have to maintain. I maintain all of these. This is one of my nicer accounts. It's early in the year, the yard is real patchy and it's actually overgrown, but this is a weekly account. I'll get into all that in a moment. First things first, I have to start with edging all the beds. You'll notice I just use my trimmer. Well, because if I'm going to go ahead and edge all these beds and trim, I'm doing it all with one item. I don't need to get an edger out. But if you do, that's great. Until you get practiced up, that's your best way. Because as you can see, I am going around it from the outside. There's no way to stand on the inside. And some of you might not be adept yet to that method. It might be kind of hard for you to do something like this with a trimmer. But you can see I'm holding this one real funky because of the bush is more in the way, and I pulled it off. And then I go along a little bit backwards way. I'm fighting it, but I'm not tearing any soil up either. So I'll come along here, sped this part up a little bit for you, and I'm just laying down a 45-degree angle. You'll notice that there's some little brickwork and stuff that they've done. Not all the yards are cookie cutter yards. There's old school building mixed with some new school buildings, some little homemade stuff here and there, just like this. A little got some little 2x4 type stuff along the side with some brickwork, and there's some little grasses growing on the inside. I trim them off. Along the back here, just a little 45-degree, tap it on the brickwork. Everything's a little uneven and jagged because that's just how it's settled over the years, so you just make do. There's no way you could lay a good straight edge on that, so don't even try. Now here's your favorite stuff, chain link fence. Now when I first started doing this yard, I went ahead and ran down it like an edger with, I went like 5 or 6 passes back and forth. They got me a little groove down in there, so now it's just sort of maintain that little groove. And that's how I deal with chain link fences. They're not fun, but if you get them like that, in a position where you can just maintain it, you're set. It's not that hard. Now out front, the grass is tall, wet fescue. Okay, going around this bed here, which when I first took over this yard, they had hand dug a trench around because they don't want anything to grow into their flower beds. So it was jagged and uneven, but I have managed to sort of even it out in spots with my trimmer. So I went around it edging it, then I went around at a 45-degree angle, and then I edged it again, and now I'm going back with a 45 because it was overgrown. Sometimes it just takes a little bit more work to get things to look proper, and that's okay. You know, it could be because of wet grass or tall grass or something weird like this. This little this sewer that they have out in front has a grate on each side with a slope, and you kind of have to just blend it in, sort of feather the grass, because you can't get your mower very close to it or your wheel will go down in there and you end up scalping the yard. So you have to just take extra time and take pride in your work and do a really good job. I say treat every lawn like it's your own, and you know, you're representing yourself when you're out there doing these lawns. If you do a good job, everybody in the neighborhood will notice it, and if you do a bad job, everybody in the neighborhood is going to notice it. So now I'm going to get my blower out, and I'm going to blow off the concrete, the walkways, the driveway, because I do not want that wet grass to be on there when my mower goes across it, because the wheel will grind it into the concrete and it will leave a stain that will last for a week. And that's just not how you do it. It takes a little bit more time, but you really want to do a good job. And those are the little extra things that will separate you from the lawn care hacks, the scrubs, or what have you. So before mowing, I will go along and I will lightly blow out underneath the bushes to make sure that all the leaves are out and get everything out into the yard to either be mulched up or bagged up, whatever you're going to be doing for that lawn. And it's a nice little touch. Again, you want to get it out there before you do start mowing. You have to be careful around mulch beds in the spring and fall for the cleanups. Some of these mulch beds are fresh and loose, full of real lightweight stuff that it's just going to blow out into the yard. So you're going to send some of it out into the yard with the leaves, and you can rake up the leaves, and then you'll see a little bit of the mulch left, and you can rake it up and put it back in the bed. But you're probably going to end up losing some mulch in the spring and fall cleanups, and that's why you re-mulch the beds every year. Okay, we're finally ready to mow. Now I'm going to do a good job here. I want to get this yard back under control. So I am going to do this back section with the small mower, and I am going to just mulch this area because it's a mixture here. There's some fescue, you got zoysia and Bermuda mixed in this yard too. So it's not all, it's just patchy right now. So I can just mulch this, and I don't want to shoot anything back into the beds. I want to get this yard down to a nice level, a maintenance level, and I don't want this excess grass to get into the beds and have any seeds or weeds grow up into them. Okay, here I am at the back part. Now I'm going to bag this because there's just no way to mulch this, and I will not side discharge. That would just leave stuff all clumpy and looking Hoosierified, and if you leave excess grass behind, it's going to settle down in there and make bare spots. You can mulch, that's fine, but if it's not weekly and you're mulching, it's going to lead to little bare spots, and what's going to pop up in the bare spot? Not grass, a weed, a dandelion, something stupid's going to pop up there, a plantain. You're going to have to tough it out every once in a while and maybe just bag it, because this is a weekly lawn, so it's best to get all this excess stuff off of here now and start it fresh for maintenance. This section was even more tall. Looks like I'm going to get about 3 swipes, and then I have to empty the bag. So 3 swipes at 15 feet each, that's not a good sign. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of that up, and then we'll take another couple swipes, and it will be time to empty that bag again. You know, it's just way too much stuff to leave on the lawn. So the reason why this lawn is so tall is because they scheduled it to be sprayed, fertilized, and the people didn't show up on the day they were supposed to. Instead, they showed up a couple days later, which was the day that I am supposed to mow. So then I have to wait for the application to dry and take effect, and that's how you get a tall yard. All the fescue in this yard grew like crazy. Problem is, the front yard is all fescue. So here's the front yard. If you didn't have a big mower like this, a powerful one, then you would have to cut it with a regular mower and bag the whole thing, which would take you 5 trash cans worth of clippings and an hour. I don't know. It would be not easy. It would be possible, it would just be extra hard, take you more time. But luckily for me, I do have a good mower that can get right through this. So I went ahead and did my outline, and now I am going to do something that I rarely have to do. I am going to cut a strip down the middle, and I'm going to side discharge all the clippings into the middle. So you'll notice I'm always turning to the right, and I just keep blowing everything in that same direction. And I do have a chute blocker on there. I closed it sort of right there so that it would just direct the stuff right back down into the middle. And that's one of the good things about chute blocker. You can have it at different levels of opening, and it will let stuff go out farther or real close to the mower, so you can really direct your clippings. So what we're looking at here is not how I really like to cut a yard, but you got to do what you got to do. I'm going to get all this stuff into a pile in the middle, and I'm going to have to rake it up. I'm sure some of you are getting ready to type right now that I need to have a bagger for my mower. Well, I do not need to have one because I do not get in this situation very often, a couple times a year. And my mower here, a bagger would not fit on it because I have the chute blocker on there, so it wouldn't attach correctly anymore. Also, I do not bag large properties, and I cut larger properties with the big mower. Even my bi-weeklies do not grow this much. I can go ahead and go back and forth, maybe even double cut a little section, and it will be just fine. This is an anomaly. Ah yes, there's nothing more fun than raking up stuff. Whether it's gumballs or leaves or wet grass, it's just so much fun. I can't get enough. Just think if I would have left all this grass on the lawn. It would not have been a pretty sight, and it would have definitely made some bare spots in there. And remember, I cut the yard on a higher setting even. But I can't say it enough. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. It's not all fun and games. Sometimes it just actually work. Look at that. Nice wet grass. I just get my hands right in it. Hey, at least there's no dog poop. Look at the bright side. Is the glass half full or is it half empty? Well, I say it's half full because there was no dog poop. So here I am lowering my deck. I'm going to take it down to the exact same height as my small mower, which I have marked on my big mower here. I know exactly which level it's at. And that is one of the best things about these Snapper Pros and the Ferris models. It's not a notch that you can move like position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or some of them might have 10 and they go by, quarter inches and stuff like that. This particular mower and the Ferris mowers, you can go by millimeters. You can get it to match the exact height of your small mower or any other brand mower that you have out there. You can get it to any height you want it. A couple things to notice right here. I am making sure my discharge chute never goes into that flower bed, which is actually where the camera is setting right now. Another thing is I make sure that my tires, my rear wheels, the heavy ones, are not following the same groove that I had taken earlier when I cut the lawn, because that is how ruts are formed. What I am is I'm just off to the side of those. Even though I'm going the same direction, east to west, I am not following the same groove. And it will help over time. It will prevent ruts. And I can probably find you some really good ruts around town to show you from people who have used zero turns the same way over and over for so long that the lawn would be bumpy as heck if they ever went the opposite direction. Now all you guys that are just starting out and you look at this mower and you wish you had one, it's just something to work for. You don't have to set a goal, but it can be something that you would want. And until then, don't sweat it. You can still cut these lawns. I can cut this lawn with a regular mower. It's just going to take me longer. Like say I go out one day and this mower doesn't start and my backup doesn't start. They're going to the shop, and then I am going to head back out here. I'm going to cut it with a small mower. Things are going to get done no matter what, and you can do a lot of stuff with your basic equipment. It just makes it I wouldn't say easier. It just makes you have more options when you do have a big mower. you can do a larger variety of lawns. But if you stick to the basics, you're going to be just fine. And right now, the basics are blow off the rest of the yard. I'm going to go around and clean it all up, make it look nice and pretty, and it will be another fine job from Geek to Freak Lawn Care. I need to really just change my company's name to that. So stay positive, stay motivated. You can do this. People are doing this all of the time and they are making money. You can be just like them. You can be better than them because you will be doing it your way, which is the best way for you. There is just a mindset that you have to get. That is the I can do it mindset. Get rid of any negativity, any inferiority complexes you have upon yourself. Change your mindset and get out there and try new things. You'll be surprised at what can happen for you and what will happen for you. I don't know what you have going on right now, but I'll tell you, you haven't reached your full potential yet because your potential is unlimited and you don't even know what you have in store for your future. The future is not here. You're going to make your future as you go on your journey. And this is part of your journey. Trying new things, becoming the best person you can be, and you will be rewarded for it.